How a little tennis machine from Hollywood, Florida made it to Georgia Tech is another story, but the story here is that the state of Georgia tennis was a lot better with Wally Johnson in it.
He clearly had what I consider to be the best serve I'd ever seen.
And what a huge serve Wally had. He was just, had the biggest serve in the game at that time, and a big forehand to boot.
Had a huge, powerful serve and had beautiful ground strokes on both sides, both forehand and backhand.
Wally Johnson was a top junior nationally in the 1960s and eventually became an All-American at Georgia Tech in the mid-1960s. In the pre-Open era, he was ranked in the top 25 players in the world before leaving the circuit to go to work.
Had he not been cut down with an injury and Open tennis come sooner, Wally was really one of the special players that's ever played in this state.
And if you wanted to know about his heart on the court, well, there's the famous picture.
It's a picture, and I don't know where it was. He is diving for a ball. He is completely horizontal, about 2 feet above the red clay court. And I'm sure it really hurt when he hit the ground.
In the 1970s, Johnson had 2 jobs. One was head coach at his alma mater, where he coached a pretty good player named John Callan.
Learned a lot about how to create a big shot. He certainly helped me with my serve, helped me with my forehand.
But the Georgia Tech job was part-time only, so he then went to work as an instructor at the Capital City Club in Atlanta, where he stayed for 40-plus years.
When Capital City only had, I believe, 3 clay courts, and it was a part-time job, and he stuck it out. They now have 13 courts, and it's a full-time job. I think they have something like 12 Alta teams, and Wally has been the person behind that, was the driving force for all that expansion, all that number of tennis teams.
Taught countless people the game of tennis, managed the Capital City Club brilliantly.
Known by all as one of the nicest people on the planet, the greatest tribute to Wally Johnson goes something like this.
A great story I learned about Wally one time is Larry Shippey, again, to tell the story about people. He says, of all the people that play the game, Wally Johnson loves it the most. He doesn't care if he's winning, he doesn't care if he's losing, he just loves the game of tennis. And you see what he did at the Capital City Club, building up one of the finest programs in the country. He wouldn't even charge you for lessons. He just wanted to play. He'd send his wife out there to teach people. He'd send all the other pros to teach people, but he had the finest courts, never were out of repair, and he just loved the game and loved to play with anybody.
Wally Johnson, a member of the Georgia Tennis Hall of Fame.